You ready for your breakfast, Panther? You are? Okay, I'm heading out. It's nicer than I thought it would be this morning. It's 67 and it doesn't feel too humid. We are expecting more rain today. I was surprised we only had 1.5 inches last night. Down south of us they had red that stood over top of them for like 4 hours again, so I'm sure they had much more. Good morning. Hi. You're making the darndest noises. Grace says that's nice, but how about if you get on with my morning brush, Mom? This is the scene at our house. Cat sleeping. Don comfy watching his YouTubes. It's that kind of a morning out there, plus it is the weekend. But you know this boy, he's not supposed to be here. Not because I don't want him around, but because he doesn't like Panther and he tries to intimidate him. See, Panther's asleep over here and everything. He's been better lately. He's been coming up, sleeping, leaving, but occasionally he gives Panther a hard time. So I'm going to relocate him for safety's sake. Just around, he's got plenty of comfy places, Tux does, to sleep on the other side of the house. I'm in Ruby. It's around 1 p.m. I'm headed to Kohl's to return the pair of capris that I bought earlier on during the pandemic. I had gone one day and done curbside pickup. For the longest time, they were not accepting returns, but I believe they are accepting returns now. So I'd really like to get my money back because they don't fit. I might glance at the rack in there, but I'm really not going to shop per se. Don and I are going to do a couple things when I get back, and I don't plan to be gone a super long time. It is Pokemon Go Community Day, and I've been sitting on the love seat catching Weedles, which evolve into a green instead of a yellow Beedrill. Beedrill looks like a mad hosp or hornet or something like that. So I will be catching a few Weedles on another account. I've done mine and Don's account. We have 3. We've done all the evolves. We're good. I have till 5 p.m. So I'm probably going to switch over to Johnny and/or Ruby's account and try to get some more shiny Weedles. So I'll be doing that a little bit, spinning my Pokestop, that kind of thing. Well, at least I'm going to get a little exercise walking today. I've got my mask on, my glove on. I've even got my safety glasses on today. I had not used them the last few times I was out, and I wear my reading glasses down so low they're not really protecting my eyes. And I can wear my reading glasses and the safety glasses at the same time. I'm sure I look dorky, but you know, hey, I've got a mask on, so I already look dorky. There's a few people here today. I guess we could question that I shouldn't have come on the weekend, but I just wanted to get this handled. It's a big store. The return went super easy, and I'm feeling comfortable walking around for a few minutes. Reserve for the cat, super cool. They do also, not to be left out, have an I love my dog. Well, their clearance is actually a clearance price today. I guess they really need to move this stuff from Easter. They don't have anywhere near the patriotic stuff that they normally have. I might would have liked some new placemats. I was gonna buy something, but there are 30 people in line. I swear it wasn't like that when I came in. I have my Rudolph nose from the mask again. It's all red, sorry. I left because the line was almost as bad as Black Friday, and it wasn't moving. I mean, the number of people in line doesn't matter, but it really wasn't moving while I was watching it. And, you know, the capris I was going to buy, they probably weren't going to fit either. And the tablecloth and hand towels I was going to buy, well, I can live without those and enjoy finding something at Guardian Angel. So I decided not to wait. I walked around, put my stuff back, and then I Then I left. What happened is they've only got one door open, although I did not see anyone counting. And the second door is closed, and the cashiers at the second door are closed. So they had 4 people cashiering, but the whole other bank where they could have had 4 more, which probably would have normally been open on a Saturday, they were closed. Now, I don't understand, because you could have checked out over there and still walked back to the one open door, or they could have made the other side an exit, or, I mean, they brought this problem on themselves. You can social distance and have both doors open, or you can certainly social distance and have both banks of registers open, even if everybody has to go to the one door. So I didn't want to give them my business at that point. Yeah, they were just causing people to bunch up. It was ridiculous.
Perfectly valid. Piled up on my recliner all Saturday, and she's coming home and cracking the whip.
Well, I did tell him, ask him, negotiate with him for what we would do when I got home.
And I agreed to it.
And it's 3:10, and you've been watching YouTube since 11. So, you know, we're just pulling each other's chain.
I am actually caught up on my YouTubes, and I was actually listening to a YouTube version of a podcast, an audio podcast. So basically, it's the faces are stuck on the screen. It doesn't move or anything. So I guess as I told Marianne, I stopped it when she came in. I said, I normally listen to this on my phone
Sure.
So I can listen to that anytime. So I'm actually caught up on my YouTubes.
Well, that's good to hear. That we can do stuff for 2 or 3 hours and we'll be good. I'm just pulling his chain. He's not. So I told him I wanted to clean the dryer vent today.
Yeah,
for number 1. At my old house, my dryer vent actually caught on fire to the point where it smoked up the house. Now, it did not have to call the fire department, did not have any long-term damage, but the lint inside the metal tube caught on fire, smoked up the house, scared us to death. So it's really a good idea to clean it. And the longer the tube from the dryer to the outside, the more likely, my opinion, you are to have a lot of buildup, because the length of the tube collects it the whole length, and then if they get a blockage up close to the machine, you can't blow it outside. So ours is pretty far.
It's in the middle of the house, so it's like the longest it could be in any direction is the direction it goes.
Now, admittedly, we are pretty caught up on projects, sort of, so this is a stretch project. This is we really have time, so we'll handle this. But it's every 2 years, whether you need it or not, is probably a good idea.
When Mary and I were combining households,
so that would be
2013. She had the vinyl
collapsible tubing.
Right, the spring kind of
accordion
vent in underneath her house, so it's like that ain't code, that ain't right. So I replaced that with metal. She did have some metal, but I don't. Maybe after something.
The water accident.
Right.
My washing machine flooded the laundry room.
Okay.
And all the water went out the air conditioning vent. Most of the water went out the air conditioning vent in the laundry room. Again, my laundry room was in the middle of the house too. And it damaged the hallway carpet and particle board. But thankfully in the laundry room it was help me out, Donnie, plywood. It was plywood, of course, under the washer and dryer, but most of the water went out the vent, and then there was some damage, there was some so Don had nothing to do with that, but we had a flood off the washer.
Right. Well, at that time, I bought the dryer vent cleaning brush. Basically, it's a brush with pieces of
fiberglass,
like 3 feet long fiberglass rod.
It's like the same thing you use to clean your chimney, sort of. Or the fish rod.
Right.
Yeah.
And I used it to clean out hers and mine since then. So last time I've cleaned out our vent was a couple years ago. So it's time for it to be cleaned out.
Yeah, so you kind of do need a brush and these fiberglass rods, but they're not super expensive. And then once you have them, you'll just reuse them every time you need to do it.
Right, and I would tell you, it also, because ours is so long, I only have like 12 feet of these rods. And what I'm trying to say is the pipe is much longer than that. So I do it 12 feet from this direction, and then I do it 12 feet from the other direction. And to get it to all go out, so I do this direction first, okay? And we kind of vacuum whatever comes up.
Right.
But then we take our blower, our Ego blower, and I stick, because it fits like perfect in that 4-inch vent.
540 CFM, baby.
Right. And I turn it on so it blows all the lint out the other way, out to the outside. And then I go stick my brush in the outside, and it scrapes and loosens up the rest. So that's how I get it clean out. So I don't really, it would be ideal just to sit up here or sit down there and just do one direction, but I have to do two directions. But I think the trick is to put your blower on there and just, I push the little trigger and I tape it where it stays closed, and just go away and go, because that puts enough.
Well, you got help today.
Well, I got help. Well, anyway, the point is, think about using your blower to help knock some of that
Once you
out.
loosen it up, you can send it on
Right.
out with the blower.
The brush kind of scrapes the sides and loosens it up, but it does, and it will drag it out, but there's always stuff coming out, because when you turn on your dryer the first time,
Yeah, it blows even more
blows
stuff
even
out.
more. So don't put the do not put the, we have a screen, well, it's more of a plastic, it's not like 1/2-inch grid. It stops animals, chipmunks. And
Right, on the outside we have a rodent screen, but it's not
A bug
small
screen.
particle screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, that's how I've sort of said to myself, we need to do this. Because when I was over there weeding in the last month, there was a ton of lint on the rodent screen, and I actually took off the rodent screen, cleaned it, put it back,
Yeah, I do that
and
every
saw that the inside of the thing had some buildup on it, let's
Right.
say.
Well,
So
anyway.
we won't belabor the whole thing
oh,
like we
gosh.
talked about it, but we'll show you a little bit what we're
Yeah.
doing, including Dawn's gonna, I guess, take off the panel on the dryer itself so that we can vacuum up in there too.
Well, one of the repairs I've had to make to the dryer is I had to replace the heating element.
Yep.
And I learned that the front part of the heating element, front part of the dryer down at the base comes off real easy. I mean, it's like 2 1/4-inch screws, and it's like nothing. And it comes out, and it's all open in there. And then after you get that open, I mean, it's kind of like the entire drum is open, and the lint, so there's a lot of lint in there. But what I'm trying to get at is, we have a 90-degree that aligns the dryer up with the thing, and I'm trying to clean that out without pulling the dryer out. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to clean out the part that connects the dryer to the vent, and it's a rigid vent itself, without having to pull the dryer out. And I think if I pull the panel off, I can get my brush down there, because it's all nice and open. We're going to find that out.
Yeah, I think Dawn had some non-rigid tubing back behind the dryer, and the cats love to open the closet door on their own and go back there. And last time he had to fool with it, he put in this rigid piece that
Right.
they could
It's
stomp on it,
metal.
walk on it, try to chew it, and they ain't going to get nowhere with it. So,
it's metal.
did they actually damage the old one? Or
I
you
don't
just?
remember.
I don't think so. I think you just said
Not a
they're
good
walking
idea.
back there. That's not a good idea. Let's put this rigid one in. And you were back there for some other reason, and you did that. But
But
yeah.
we don't have much room in that laundry little
You think?
closet. So doing anything in that laundry closet is
Yep.
problematic.
Hey, Donnie, this year there's only half the stuff piled on top instead of what used to be up there.
Yeah.
I've been known to leave a few things laying. We need another hall linen closet. So you can see the flexible metal stuff back there.
Right.
So these is my washer and dryer from the other house. Maybe we've replaced the washer now over here?
Nope.
No. Okay, so Don, being the tall guy that he is, didn't want to be bending over. And he also didn't want to pay like $70 a pedestal to go buy the Whirlpool Duet pedestals. So him and JB, they built pedestals.
That's right.
And the height is sort of based on the wall over here.
It's custom fit.
It's custom fit to work here. Obviously, that's the stairwell panel. You know, the stair steps going up to the attic is part of the laundry room ceiling. But in any way, that's what Don is working with down there, is he took apart the...
Ew.
Right. Well, you know, if we were taking it apart and there wasn't crap in there, then we would be wasting our time, but it's pretty yucky down there. Yeah, that's what you would have expected, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We will definitely be getting that up. Oh, we're going to be rich,
Money,
too. There's a whole 3 cents for your time, Donnie.
Ooh, baby.
There was all that stuff in the front, and then farther back was this lump. And unfortunately, a couple dimes went into the vacuum cleaner bag. Oh,
Dimes.
well. Yeah, dimes. Well, you know, the only person that ever had money in their pocket was you. Just saying.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like a teenage boy. But well, it's not Christmas tree light up like pine sap, but it's definitely burns without much effort. A spark can get it to smoldering. You can certainly see if that happens inside for whatever reason that you want your tubing to be metal. I wet it down really good with the hose, put a puddle on it. It'll be fine. I want to throw it away until it's, you know, sat there in the water for a while. Just to be safe. So this is what the little kit looks like. It's the Flecto brand is the one Don has. And I guess you can hook it to the drill so you can spin it on top of just, you know, using your own muscle to put it in there. I guess my question is the fish that Don has, that's that yellow tubing, is it not the same size thread? Could we not make it longer with the fish that we have? This looks a little wider. So Don got the actual lint return from the dryer out of the dryer. I love how there's a couple pieces of corn in there from the last time we went to the Volmer farm in October. And a couple pieces of corn must have been in somebody's clothes. But anyway, you can see that that is significant. All of that was in the lint return, and I still need to get the little stuff out of it. Needless to say, the dryer will not cost so much electricity and run more efficiently when we get done cleaning it too. So I pulled out the junk, I vacuumed the junk, and then I took a bottle brush inside of there and I really cleaned it. Don says it hasn't looked that clean since it was new. This is off the washing machine. This is obviously the soap dispenser, and it gets skunky looking. It gets, you know, the clean compartment is where the soap goes, and the other compartments are the compartments we don't really use, and they get to looking like that after 3, 4, 5 months. So while we're at it, I'm gonna clean this. Whirlpool really needs a talking to about how they designed this thing for the poor housewife to have to keep clean, because you basically have to have not just a bottle brush, but a brush like this to, you know, I'm using this brush for most of it, and that works great. But you need something like this to clean the smallest of the compartments, and it's lousy design because it takes 15 minutes to clean it, and you need special equipment. All right, it's cleaned up, ready to go back in. The only other thing is that where it slides in, oh, by the way, that's dirty too. And you can't bring it over to the sink to clean it So I'll use this and wash it off in the bathroom sink and go back and forth until I'm satisfied that it's good enough. Don's so smart, he screwed that plastic handle into the base so he could pull it out. It worked really well.
If it wasn't falling on me and trying to kill me. Yeah, I put a piece of 1/8 inch ply down and put a handle on. I took the little trim pieces off.
Yeah.
They're just screwed on. Or will be just screwed on. And so I pulled out the whole platform, sliding it on the 1/8 inch ply, and it slid out really easy.
And now you can get back there.
And now I can get back there.
Yeah, we've been working for an hour just to say, and we're just now getting to the actual tube going to the outside. But all this other stuff needed to be done too. And I like to tell you, somebody that wants to charge you $50 to come and clean it, they didn't probably take off the front and clean that stuff as good like we did.
Right.
So.
Well, you know, a lot of times that kind of dust is better if you just leave it alone. But, you know, at this point, we've undone it, and you know, this is only something every couple 3 years, so we should put on we should put a reminder.
Yep.
Some point in the or on the calendar.
Yep.
And let it pop up and say, hey, you need to do the thing.
Yeah,
the dryer
I
vehicle.
agree. Just like we have come pump the septic tank on as a calendar
septic
entry.
tank. That's right. It's a calendar thing. That's exactly right.
Now I do a load of laundry a day.
Every day.
I would say 28 days out of the month we do a load of laundry. Only every once in a while when Johnny's not home do we skip a night on the weekend.
Right. It's rare.
It's really pretty rare. And, you know, every load of laundry is a load of drying too. So, wow, the driveway alert just went off. Don's out in the garage getting something. And our FedEx guy's here. Wow, late on a Saturday. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. It was our butcher box being delivered, our frozen meat delivery. And as you can see, these ribeye steaks are totally frozen. Everything in the box was still frozen. And I think we'd be having us a ribeye for dinner tonight. Is he's putting the brush in with one section, doing a good job with the drill, and then because he can't do it all at one time, he's adding in the next section of the fiberglass. Push it all the way in, screw on the new piece, push that piece in till he gets it all the way in there, and then of course they'll have to take it back apart in the same way. So Don has the tube off the Ego blower, and like he said, he's got that hooked up and blowing, and he's outside now. Are you guys trying to help Donnie over here? I'm not after you, Gray. Gray. I'm not after you, sweetheart. They're curious, but easily spooked. Oh, I thought Don would be right here, but actually he must be he's in the garage. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Don says the yellow fish line only fits if you tape it. It doesn't, it's too narrow, it's too thin, it's less millimeters, it's not as thick as the...
Yeah, but it does a good job. It gets the brush up in there. Just got.
Obviously, we could buy 2 of these kits, but if you can get by without it.
Right, I already had the fish kit, and it ain't like I mean, it works pretty well. I'll put the last one on here in a second.
God, I feel like I need to be over here with the shop vac, trying to suck it up as it comes out. My poor plants. So like seriously, if you haven't done this for 5 years and you do multiple loads of laundry a week, you really need to do yours. Sorry. Hire somebody or do it, one of the two, because When it gets that much stuff in it, it is kind of dangerous. I remembered a little bit more about what happened at my house, and we ended up running underneath the house and pulling down the part that was under the house that went to the outside and carrying it outside where it was still smoldering. And that's how we stopped it from doing any damage. God, I can't stand over there. I'm breathing in dust. You need your mask on, your little dust mask on. Not your COVID mask, but your dust mask. Oh, look at the spider web. That is freaky cool. Wow. Totally freaky cool. Sorry, buddy, you're gonna have to probably build you a new nest. Yeah, the joys of home ownership.
You gotta put the blower and where it blows through there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just cakes up in there. The thing.
Yep, I can see how useful the blower is. That's a Don Miller technique special. I bet nobody else or very few other guys have done that.
Yeah, well, it makes a hell of a mess.
Out here.
Out here. Birds love this stuff. I've seen it built in our bluebird nest.
Yep.
This is the last section. This will go far enough to finish the job.
You can tell when it gets far enough that the new hose is doing it, because a bunch will start coming out. Woo! Woo, Nelly!
The fact that it's not doing it anymore means I've hit the part.
You've hit the middle. It's on past the middle.
Past the middle, that's right. So at this point, it's about as clean as she's going to get.
Yeah, I agree.
Blow this too.
Normally, when it gets all sawdusty and crap, I get the big blower and I blow him off. But the big blower's in the house, so we're using the little blower today. Turn around. Turn around, spin. You know, we don't need to take all of that back in my house. Ryobi battery-powered shop vac did a great job getting up most of the lint. It really wasn't hard to get that off of there at all. And this is the rodent screen we were talking about. I'm going to take this in the house and wash it with the bottle brush before we stick it back on there. After I got it all clean, I walked it back down here and reinstalled it. Ours isn't screwed in, but it fits really snug with the tube, so I think we're okay.
So I have this black webbing on the dryer base, and it's looped around the back feet on the dryer, and the purpose of that is so that I don't push the dryer off the back end of the platform. Because let me tell you, when it falls off the back end of the platform, it's wedged up in there pretty tight, and it's very difficult to get it back up on the platform. So these straps, this strap job is to stop me from pushing it, and it's looped around the feet and the back, keep it from falling off the back. That's the purpose of that strap. So the little piece of 1/8 inch ply has worked wonderfully. I was able to slide it out. I'm ready to slide this thing back now. And I took off this cover. It's just 2 screws. And the reason is, when I was coming out, although now that I've kind of decided, I think all you really need to do is take the trim boards off, mount the handle, and then just grab the handle and pull. And when you get close to the carpet edge, stick the plywood there and kind of lift up and stick the plywood under it, and then come the rest of the way. I don't even think you have to pull on the dryer, although I would have to say pulling the dryer forward allows it more clearance up at the top. So that's sort of what's going on here. You kind of got to balance all those things. You know, you're well paid. You know, I got a nickel this time for this. You know, you're well paid. So, you know, it's good.
I didn't know you was doing taekwondo exercises today.
Yeah, well, I've got to be careful.
Yeah, you don't want to crimp the hose over there.
Yeah, I'm going to probably have to go massage the hose down. It's designed to slip up underneath the platform in the back. Famous last words.
Well, I knew this was going to be a dirty job, and I knew it wasn't going to be super fast, but let me tell you, I think it was even more than I thought it was going to be.
It's just work, sweetie.
Yep, just work. I was telling Don that I got his shop vac all cleaned up out there. I vacuumed the accordion filter and pulled all the mess out of it, put it in the garage garbage can, and it's ready to go for the next job. Having that lightweight shop vac was really awesome today. Don's joy of home ownership almost crossed over to the dark side there.
Okay, you need to guide my feet down. I don't know where my stool.
I guess Midnight is checking to see if Don did a good job. Funny. Well, approximately 3 hours later, we're done. Don has taken the lint catcher, which slides in here, out to the garage. The little felt strip on it keeps on coming out, and it's hard to stick it back in there. So I assume he's drilling a hole and using some fishing string to make it so that the felt can't come out anymore. I said, I bet you're drilling a hole and using some fishing line to secure it.
Close. That's very close.
So not fishing wire, but just really thin wire.
Really thin wire.
I guess that makes more sense in a high heat location.
Yeah.
Here's one of the, whoa, hold it up for a sec. Let me get it in focus.
Yep.
There's one of the places to hold it.
Yep.
Another one up here. How many did you put in?
I'm going to put in 4.
4. Well, it will be nice not to have to fight that thing every time you clear. We do empty the lint after every dryer load, but it takes an extra minute to re-put that piece of felt down in that groove. So if Don can make it so we don't have to do that, amen.
That's right.
So Jack has a new video.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for another one? I'm thinking since you were basically head first into the back behind the dryer, that, and considering Jack's video, that another beer might be in order tonight.
I got 25 minutes of Jack's video to go, so yeah, I probably should have to have another beer.
Yeah.
Have pork rinds. And I love these single serving containers. You know,
You
really
know all
nice.
our viewers think we're nuts for eating those, but they're actually really good.
Look,
I sprinkle some salt on them, and I love them.
Look, folks, I've ate a lot of, well, I actually don't want to tell y'all this, but take it from me, I've ate a lot of pork rinds in my life, and these hands down are the best ones I've ate.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Well, I'm not, yeah, but I mean, flavor, texture-wise, it's got a mixture of the really fluffy ones
and the hard, crunchy ones.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and we put some salt on them, so
Yeah, they do
that
need a little salt.
they need a little. They're a little light on salt, but that's easily fixed.
Right.
And yeah, so okay, I'll go get you another beer. I got you steak cooking.
Oh,
And so what did Jack say is the reason why we haven't had battery day? Net it out for us.
He says the reason no battery day is that Elon, if he doesn't, when he announces the new Advancer, he's further along than we all expect with a battery technology. And if he announces that without being able to simultaneously ship it, he's going to kill his Model 3 and Model Y sales because everybody's going to wait for the new, quote, battery. So he's got to be shipping the new technology, and then he's going to have battery days. Oh, well, I've been shipping it since, back in yada, 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 yada. So we're gonna find out.
Cool.
Jack picks up his Model Y Monday.
I want to hear about our Model Y. I'm ready to start whining. My patience is fading. I know Don's patience is good because he wants to make sure that we get a quality Model Y.
I think Tesla's doing a good job with the Model Y. I just want them to be, you know, sailing along building Model Ys. I want to be in the sailing, not the churn mode. I want to be
Right, not the working on getting things back up to snuff mode.
Right, I want 'em
Yeah.
to be, man, we've been cranked them babies out. You know, that's what I want to hear.